Like, because the movies definitely have an audience, right?
Oh yeah.
Like they have their audience, and they have people who don't necessarily like it, and those people are just as right, because like the movie is designed to kind of to be what Tolkien was.
Mm-hmm.
And what Tolkien was a very specific kind of cult thing. And it was accessible, but it didn't really demand your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like why the Academy kind of saw this is like the Academy is probably run by nerds. Because come on.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're not wrong, or at least they were.
Yeah, but like, it's interesting because the movies are designed kind of to be like this thing going on over here, kind of a sideshow. They're like, come on, but we'll get along without you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that is, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not really into this, but look at what they're doing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
look at them having fun.
They're doing something interesting. They're doing something new. They're doing something that doesn't really happen in cinema, because like, I can count on two hands how many truly excellent fantasy movies there are.
Mm-hmm.
Because there aren't.
Yeah.
They just kind of don't exist. And
which is a very sad thing.
The reason I can count them on two hands is there are 6 Lord of the Rings movies.
What are the other ones that you can think of off the hand? Oh.
that's offhand. That's about it.
I think there's a few others.
There are a few others, but like...
But these are the important ones.
Yeah.
So on to Two Towers finally, 30 minutes in.
Well, I mean, we've kind of been covering the whole thing.
Yeah, this is true, but I kind of do want to go over the extended stuff, like the fun parts.
Okay.
Because the extended parts for Two Towers, they're a little bit more noticeable. Like, there's a lot more Treebeard.
Yeah.
And if you didn't read the books, and you thought that the Treebeard part was slow in the movies, it's supposed to be that. And if you didn't like it, you won't like this part. I'm sorry. But you won't, because it's more of that slow, catch your breath, ridiculously slow mentality thing that's kind of going on in the background, because it's supposed to be that.
It's crazy because we just read in my literature class I think the book is called Nightwood.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is what it's called, and it's a very strange book. But there's a character that I think is only referred to as the Doctor, and he...
Doctor Who?
No.
You know that was going to be in the comments.
I know, but
continue.
He just kind of goes on and on talking, and he'll talk, and talk,
mm-hmm.
because that's the only way he as a character can feel comfortable, and he'll just talk about nothing, and like
sounds Doctor Who-ish.
every few seconds, like he'll say something that will draw you in. He'll say something that will kind of bring you forward and be like, oh, is he saying something interesting? Is he saying something important? And then he'll just start talking about nothing again. And he'll just keep going, and you're reading it,
mm-hmm.
but you start to like
listen to it,
tune it out.
Oh, yeah.
You start to tune it out, and then
you miss the important stuff.
Well, no, you don't, because the way you're reading is like you'll be reading it and like you'll start to tune it out, but then you'll come across something and it'll snap you right back in. And I feel like Treebeard is kind of that kind of character, because like he's designed to like be this like This is what's happening to the trees, son.
Because
You
Tolkien
should-
is a nature nut.
You should care about the trees. And like, Treebeard's kind of that kind of character. Like you'll listen to him and then you'll just nod off a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I felt while I was
Then you'll come back in.
listening to it via audiobook.
Yeah.
And like it does it on the voice. The reader for that does Treebeard's voice slow, and I love it.
Yeah.
But when I'm riding a riding lawnmower,
Yeah.
and Treebeard begins to talk, I'm afraid for my life, and that's how I stay awake.
Yeah. Well, like, it's cool because like he'll go on talking, and it's really funny because Merry and Pippin start to fall asleep too, and you're just like,
because you're supposed to feel what Merry and Pippin are feeling with Treebeard,
yeah,
which is a great thing, but for people that don't get that, they don't get that this was a book.
yeah,
That annoys the shit out of them.
yeah. But like, and then
Why is this movie slow suddenly?
Then he mentions the Ent women, and they snap back in, and they're like, "Where are the Ent women?
We lost them.
Lost them. I'm not sure where they are." they're all. No, they're not gone. We just don't know
Misplaced
where
them.
they are.
Yeah. And like those are all great, and the scenes to where they drink the Ent water, which makes them taller because that's they're trees.
Yeah.
Height is life.
Height is love, height is life.
Yes. And so like these are parts in the books that they wouldn't have made it into the movies because these movies are long to begin with.
Yeah.
And now we're making them longer.
Yeah.
So, but I as a Tolkien fan, I appreciate that those are in there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of extended edition in Rohan, I believe. Like all of Rohan was in the movie.
Yeah.
Like they didn't do much to it. I think there was
Rohan is exciting.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but like I think like the only part of Rohan that was extended was like a daydream that Aragorn has of Arwen.
Yeah.
While he's in Rohan.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like that's all they had.
Yeah.
Like they had more of Faramir. Whenever he shows up, and more, since we're now finally in Two Towers, more Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Oh,
More Gollum. So much Gollum. Gollum to this day is the greatest mocap performance.
like I haven't
ever.
seen the Planet of the Apes prequels yet.
Also a really good mocap performance.
Yeah, well, it's also Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I'm surprised the government isn't suing Andy Serkis for monopoly for taking all the mocap performances.
He's got a really good mocap performance in King Kong. He doesn't talk,
Yeah,
but
he's King Kong.
the movement, he plays an actual like live action character in the movie too.
Oh, okay.
He does the mocap for King Kong, and he's great.
Mm-hmm. But Andy Serkis as Gollum, I love this part of I love Gollum in the movies so much.
Yeah.
He's like him and Gimli are my favorite characters, like nudge to nudge.
Yeah.
Because I love Gimli because he's really the only taste of dwarf that we get.
Well,
and
also,
dwarves are amazing.
Also, he's a grouchy old troll of a man, but he's so cute. Like just the way he behaves.
We'll go swimming, we little hairy women. I love him.
He's so adorable. Like,
and Gollum has that as well.
Yeah.
Like whenever he's Schmeedle.
except he's not like menacing and grouchy. He's scary.
Yeah.
When he's not adorable, he's scary.
When the pupils are bigger, he is the cutest thing ever. But when they turn small and he's Gollum, if you haven't noticed when you watch those movies, you can tell who is who, and it becomes scarier whenever you go and rewatch it. Like, oh, he's Gollum now.
Yeah.
He's not nice right now.
No.
So it becomes this. I just love him.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters in these movies.
He's one of my favorite characters just in things.
And he's one of the greatest things in movies that has ever happened to movies.
Or literature or anything.
Yeah. Because I mean, I can only really think of one other like big character that's ever had a type of like dual personality.
Yeah.
And that's Two-Face and Batman. Like, there's probably others out there, but I don't think there are really any others as big as those two.
Yeah.
And even so, I think Gollum has a bigger place than Two-Face does.
Yeah.
Because Two-Face eventually gives into it. Gollum is always fighting with it. Especially once Frodo shows up and he shows Gollum that there's always still hope. And Sam even shows Gollum, like, there are still things worth fighting for in this world, even though Gollum is so far past that, he can still feel that.
Yeah,
even though
he's so old and so removed from like everything about the real world, like there's still something left in him, and like he's from a world long past. Like
500 years in Tolkien is still a long time, even though most of the races live for hundreds of years.
Like the disorientation that character feels, and that you feel with that character, because he's from another time. And not only has the ring poisoned his mind, but like it's made him live an awful life, but also so much longer than he was ever supposed to. And he's just so far removed from where he belongs that he feels out of place and just can't even cope with being a normal thing. Like he just can't be.
You don't have any friends.
He just can't be normal. Because he's so far away from where he belongs. And like it's really sad. Like he's one of the most tragic characters I feel in anything, because not only is he unredeemable, because like he has murdered. And he has, he murdered when he knew better. And, like, the ring just overtook him. And the ring poisoned his mind and just turned him into a monster. But, like, even when he's Smeagol, and, like, has some sense of morality, there's still that sense of being lost. That I think is hard to do properly.
And Andy Serkis did it.
Yeah.